All right, everyone. Welcome to Relax and Take Notes, a hip hop debate show where we break down everything from who is worthy of top five dead or alive status, classic albums, new releases, and what's trending in hip hop. I'm Rob G. I have Alf with me. Alf, how you doing, man?
What's good, Rob? How you doing, good people?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Listen, this is episode one. Really, this came about because the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and we came together. We've known each other. We came together. We said let's try to knock something out. So here we are recording. I'm feeling good about this.
I'm feeling great. I cannot wait to prove you wrong on everything.
Listen, man. Listen, you are definitely you're the guy, man. You are truly living this culture, man, on a regular basis, right? On a day-to-day basis. You're in Brooklyn. You're so connected with music. Here I am a little bit outside of that. I'm about a 90-minute drive from you, but I am a student of hip hop. I've been a student ever since I was a kid. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing which side can prevail.
No, absolutely. I mean, again, like I may live in Brooklyn and you may live in Connecticut, but we already know it's a culture. So if you live it, and then your depth and breadth of knowledge
Yeah.
will absolutely show. So can't wait.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Listen, let's jump into it. So the 50th anniversary of hip hop, right? We are living in it. We're in the moment right now. There was just a concert not too long ago at Yankee Stadium. Tens of thousands of people poured into Yankee Stadium to witness one of the biggest nights in hip hop history. There was everyone from Sugar Hill Gang, Wu Tang, Nas. He brought out Lauryn Hill, Snoop Dogg, T.I., Lil Wayne. Wow. And you were there. You were there. Talk to me about that night. Talk to me about when you look back on it. What's the first, the second, the third thing that comes to your mind that stood out the most?
It was absolutely crazy. First of all, I was glad I was able to even be in that, to be able to witness that. But in terms of what jumped out, the amount of artists that were there in one sitting, it was literally all like it was overload. It was like this is incredible. Like, are you kidding me? And then there are hits you forgot. There are people who weren't supposed to be there. There were the guests, but the amount of people that would be second. Dougie Fresh's performance, where he beatboxed for maybe 2.5 minutes straight,
Oh,
was phenomenal. Absolutely. There's a difference between an MC and a rapper, and I don't think anyone is a better MC than Dougie Fresh. Like, and I don't mean lyrically, I just mean the ability to control and move a crowd is top notch. And the women, every woman, every woman that got on that stage destroyed it. Little Kim, Remy, like they all tore it down. So I was just like they chose well. Like I missed the Lauren's performance, but I saw it again. Again, I was there for so long that after 7.5 hours, we bailed out after New York State of Mind. As we're walking out, Cool G Rap is on stage, and my boy's like, "Yo, I think I hear Cool G Rap." I'm like, "Nah, they're playing the song." He's like, "No, that's Cool G Rap." So yeah, it was Cool G Rap, but yeah, it was crazy. So those are my top three things: the amount of artists, the women tearing it down, and Dougie Fresh.
hold on. So listen, I've been to sporting events, I've been to concerts, I've been there where it is just hours upon hours upon hours, and it gets to a point where you're like, okay, this is like enough is enough. But whose idea was it to leave during Nas? Whose idea was that?
I mean, I'm not gonna blame anyone. I'm going to say we got there at 5:15. When Nas comes on, it's probably 12:30.
Wow.
People, and I mean, if you look around in the stands, there are people hanging on by a thread. Like there are people sleeping, there are people knocked out. So it's not even a question of I don't want to see Nas or Lauren. I didn't know Lauren was coming out, but who doesn't want to see Nas? You're tired, bro. Like it's either go to sleep at home or go to sleep at Yankee Stadium. But I'm literally out of energy. We've been up all day.
Do you have a favorite Nas song, like all time?
A favorite? Wow.
I know, man. I put you on the spot. We didn't prep for any of this, man. Um, but so many iconic songs. Let me ask you, and this might kind of narrow it down a little bit. Now, the songs that stand out most to you, are they the bangers, like the first single bangers? I'm talking about "Made You Look," "Got Yourself a Gun." Are they those types of songs, or are they the storytelling songs, like like Rewind, and just, I mean, so many, uh Taken in Blood, just like, no, what's the one where he's a gun on It Was Written? One
Shit.
Love on Illmatic, like the storytelling, like, so are you more of a storytelling Nas, or do you just you want a banger?
If it's good, it's good. I think I like when Nas tells a story. I think Nas is better when he has like a fixed main idea. When he's freestyling, he's good, dope too. But I just think he's better when he tells a story. The World Is Yours. Whose world is this? The Pete Rock remix.
Mm,
I'm sorry, the Q-Tip remix.
mm.
That, because of the beat and the lyrics, is my personal favorite Nas song of all time. Like, yeah, I've had to go with one.
Yeah,
And
and
yours? You're not gonna get away with this, man. You're right back. Spotlight on you,
no,
brother.
listen, man. I think I have to go with the storytelling. I think I have to go with the I don't know, like the less commercial Nas. But here's the thing, though: when it comes to Nas, and I don't want to turn this into a full blown Nas conversation, but when it comes to Nas and his beat selection, when he's off, he's off. And this is me saying this from the stands, right? He's performing, and here I am critiquing from the rafters. I understand that, right? But like,
Yeah.
when he's off, he's off. And historically, he has been just terrible at beat selection. So, like, there are not many J songs. There are no big songs I'll ever skip. There are not many J songs I'll ever skip, but there
Yeah.
are a lot of Nas songs that I'll skip. And it's because the beat selection, and I think, and I don't even want to call it laziness, like where he's gone through periods. I think, like, he just might not have people in his ear that are like, yo, that's kind of whack. And I'm not calling Nas
So
whack.
I, I don't know any of these guys personally, so I'm just going to extrapolate my creative interpretation. I think Nas is more focused. It's the music business. I think although they're both equally adept, I think Nas is more focused on the music. Jay-Z's more focused on the business. And with that said, Nas seems to take more creative risks because there's only so many type tracks you can do before you get bored. Like, as a producer, there's only so I'm not gonna make the same track more than once. So Nas doing the again New York State of Mind, and then doing it again 4 or 5 times over may not necessarily, he may get bored. So I think he's inspired by different kinds of things, like any creative would be. Whereas Jay-Z, as fantastic as he is, he understands that I make widgets and this widget sold, so I'm going to make more of this widget.
Oh yeah.
Again, that's just my assumption. I don't
I
know.
think of songs with Jay. I think of songs like Diamond's Best, Girl's Best Friend, Hey Poppy, like all these songs over the years that were just like sounded very, very similar, that were just like geared for the women. And it's like, looking back on a lot of his singles, Jay's
Mhm.
singles, I think they probably didn't age very well, right? Like, no
Yeah,
one's checking for Hey Poppy right now. You know what I
yeah,
mean? No
yeah.
one's like, but yeah, so I think some of those singles didn't age that well. But I have a question. So you brought up Jay. I want to
Mhm.
know, why wasn't Jay-Z at this concert? I understand he's in some regards bigger than music, right? He's an icon. He's transcended everything. I get that, but
Mhm.
you can't tell me that Jay has something better to do. If Nas is there, if Snoop is there, if all of Wu Tang are there, I need to know why Jay wasn't there. I know he was invited.
I don't know anything specifically, again, but I'm going to go off on a limb here. We are fans, so when we see a super concert, we just assume all the super friends should be there. Again, this is a business. Who put on the concert? Mass appeal. What kind of business is being done? Before we all go, okay, this is the biggest hip hop concert ever. Everybody should be there. Jay-Z's one of the prominents. He should be there. What are the logistics behind that concert? Are there certain Nas concerts that Jay-Z tours that Nas couldn't go on or wouldn't go on because it didn't make sense for him from a business perspective? And I think that's like people automatically go, where was Jay? Where was Rakim? Where was Dre? We're a slew of people that are just as big, or let me not say just as big, because Jay seems to be like it's a 1, 2, 3. Biggie and 2 of them are alive. There are a lot of people that represent the culture to the fullest. Ice Cube was there, Dre wasn't. Nobody will give Dre hell, but people will give Jay-Z crap. And again, like I said, there's so many other underlying business aspects of it. It's not as simple as just Jay-Z wasn't there because Jay-Z thinks he's bigger than hip hop. That's crazy. There's no way Jay-Z thinks he's bigger than hip hop.
Yeah, I think listen, Jay from Marcy, you and I were just down at the Brooklyn Library. You're passing there every day, but you and I went and met down at the Brooklyn Library a few weeks ago. We saw the Jay-Z exhibit. His lyrics are all over the front of the library, the big cube in the front of it. It's all lit up. It's got videos playing all over it. It is a shrine to Jay. Okay. Tell me how he is not making it a priority to go to this concert and perform. Business aside, money does not move the needle for a guy like that. Unless we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, money is not going to move the needle. So exactly. I would love to know why he wasn't there. To me, that's a slap in the face to New York, and to me, it's a slap in the face to hip hop.
And again, Jay-Z has a line, and I think he said something about people getting mad at him for the things that he didn't do. And I think it's absolutely hilarious that still rings true. We don't know the logistics of it. We don't understand it. There's so many other people that weren't there, but it's automatically a slight to Jay. If we're talking about doing things, if I'm a business guy, Beyonce cannot be on a Keisha Cole concert. Keisha Cole has to pop up on a Beyonce concert. So there's certain things you cannot do. We're giving Jay-Z so much crap about the library thing and not doing the concert. We've all been to Jay-Z concerts. I grew up in Brooklyn. I used to my parents used to leave me in that library every Saturday and go handle whatever business they had to handle. And I would pick up the only piece of material that resonated with me, which was a Mad magazine. Since Jay-Z's been in that library, I believe membership has increased by 50%.
Wow.
In addition to all the other, and you have to go around and collect library cards because they all have different Jay-Z images on it. So there are other libraries where you have to go, and I believe their percentages, like memberships, have gone up 20 to 25%. So although everybody's upset that Jay-Z didn't show up at a concert, what does walking into that library and seeing that black man from Marcy's face on that wall mean to a kid like me, who had nobody in the library representing him when he walked in there? What trajectory what image does that give you? What kind of message and what kind of inspiration is that versus being one of 85 other people at a concert, of which Jay-Z's probably going to go on tour. He's probably going to drop an album soon. We've seen Jay in concert. Why does he have to do everything in order to be considered what he is, when what he is was based on not doing what everybody else did to a certain extent? Jay's a trendsetter. Trendsetters don't necessarily follow the trend. They set their own. We've always been the you know what I mean? We've always kind of looked at him until we got to a certain age for what to do, and that's kind of how he platformed himself. So does it make sense? I don't think the year's out. The way Jay-Z moves, you let everybody talk whatever they talk, and then before you know it, at the end of the year, there will be a song with Boogie Down Productions and Rakim and Nas and everybody on it, and anything's possible. But again, I think he picks up a lot of flack for doing what makes sense for him musically, business-wise, and how he sees the culture.
You make some great points. I can't argue any of those points about him, what he's done for the community, what he's done for Brooklyn with going to the library. And anytime Jay does anything, the surrounding businesses all make money, right? I get it. Anything he's involved in, but like you said, he doesn't do anything unless it makes sense for him. And
Mhm.
and I'm paraphrasing with what you said, but you
Yeah.
basically said that. So to me, and I agree. So to me, I'm like, well, for a concert of this magnitude, I think you have to put that mindset aside that if it doesn't make sense for me, I'm not going to do it. And I think that it really would have put, and I'm not saying that the concert, because I wasn't there, right? But I've
Mhm.
watched every single clip that's online of it. I feel like I was there. I feel like I've experienced it. So I'm not saying that the concert wasn't a massive success because it
Mhm.
seemed like it was, right? I didn't hear many stories of any violence, of people getting hurt, anything like that. It was all love. Sounds like a success, but with that stamp of like Jay-Z showed up, I think a night like that needs that.
Again, it makes sense for Nas to show up at a mass appeal sponsored event. Shout out to Jenya. That's my classmate from high school. She executive produced the whole thing. So
Let's go.
go home team, go Tech.
Let's go.
I don't think we are always going to take a fan approach because we're fans.
Yeah.
We don't know what makes sense for these people. We just know what we would like to see, and that's a mega concert. Who knows if Yankee Stadium can facilitate that concert logistically? Because Jay-Z can probably fill that Yankee Stadium. Now you're going to throw Nas, Ice Cube, Lil Wayne, Snoop Dogg, Lil Kim, and the litany of the there. And again, I don't think Jay-Z went, you know what? Screw hip hop and everybody who made me who I am. I'm not going to this concert. They can all.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. Like
Okay.
I think this is all speculation, but I don't think it's that. It makes sense. It's a mass appeal event.
Yeah.
Nas is going to be at a mass appeal event. It's his company.
Yeah. So I know we're going to be moving on, but I know we're
Mhm.
going to be talking about this more in future episodes and future segments.
Absolutely.
Last question: how much of the Lil Kim performance did you say?
All of it.
How long was it, and which sections of her catalog did she do? Was it mostly hardcore? Was it mostly guest appearances? How long was it?
She did hardcore. She did Crush on You, if I'm not mistaken. she debuted a new upcoming song called Nice Ice Baby, and it's a Vanilla Ice sample, and it's pretty dope if you ask me. Like, but she did I'm trying to think. It was hardcore. The Benjamins, her version, the Mob Deep Quiet
Quiet
Storm. Like,
Storm, of course. I
yeah,
was
she,
just
she did she did her mega hits basically.
yeah, yeah.
The amount of people
Did she
that were
do
there,
did she do Magic Stick?
I
She must have.
want
That's
I
that's
want
got to be a top 5 hit for her.
I want to say yes, but
Yeah.
again, this is 8.5 hours of concert, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, listen, I will forever be jealous that I could not attend, that you went, man. What an iconic concert, an iconic moment in the history of hip hop. So shout out to everyone that went, shout out to everyone that performed, and this culture is incredible, man. I'm just happy to, be an observer and watching and really trying to be a student of the game. So all right, so moving along, I have a question for you.
uh-huh.
Let's say I know that we're both fans of Griselda, right? We're both fans of Conway, right? Conway the Machine. Shout out to
Mhm,
Griselda. Let's use Conway as an example, okay?
mhm.
Let's say that Conway is about to drop an album. He's about to release his first single. It's up to you. You are the creative director behind it, dead or alive. Who do you want the feature to be on that single? That's kind of a loaded question.
It absolutely is because they're all right and they're all wrong. I'm gonna go with Jadakiss.
Jada?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jada.
All right, I like that
He,
answer. I mean, you can't go wrong with Kiss.
I
Um,
mean,
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go big. I'm gonna have to go Biggie, Big, the notorious one. Just as I'm assuming that it would be a new verse and not a recycled verse. So a new verse that no one had ever heard,
Mm-hmm.
um, with Conway, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I would use Big, and I'll tell you why I wouldn't use Kiss.
Okay.
I would use Big because it's effortless with Big, effortless. He will absolutely shine and elevate not only the song, but he'll elevate the album that Conway is pushing, and he'll elevate the entire artist, okay, to a galaxy far, far away. He will completely take that. But here's the thing, he would do it, and an artist like Drake would do that too, but Big
Mm-hmm.
would do it in a way to where, I mean, he's got that New York City to him. You know what I mean? So it would still be tough. It would still be gutter. It would still be incredible. And the reason why I wouldn't go with Kiss is because I think at the end of the day, Kiss is, I think, I hate to be that guy, but too regional. Too regional. I think it's
Regional?
too regional. So you're gonna put a New York artist with a New York artist, and I don't think that's really gonna grow the album much if he gets featured on the single.
Biggie ain't from Mississippi. Biggie's from Brooklyn, so regional. I understand what you're saying. Biggie has more regional appeal. The
No,
reason why,
I'm saying he's got worldwide appeal, Biggie.
absolutely, the reason why I wouldn't use Biggie on anybody's song is Biggie's song,
Mm.
and that's just what it is. Like, that's not yet. If it's on Conway's album, that's Conway still going to be featured simply because Biggie's on that song. So now everything is going to be compared relative to, did Conway keep up with Biggie? Did Conway body Biggie? And of course, Conway can't body Biggie. And if we're doing the Biggie Never Died, then his legacy is crazy. And it's going to be a Conway Jay-Z song where everybody again would be checking for Jay-Z. And if it's an unreleased Biggie verse that nobody ever heard of, the anticipation of that would sell Conway's album, but I don't know if it would do Conway justice. It would just be everyone, the light would be on Biggie in that entire thing. Whereas, of course, Jadakiss is a legend. Conway's an absolute monster. Conway, not to say that Conway can't keep up with Biggie or Jadakiss is any less of an artist than Big.
No, he's kept up with Jada before.
Kind of thing. Like, so,
Yeah.
like, I think Conway and Jadakiss would play off of each other very, very well. Like, they just seem to have like a, not so much Styles, because Styles is more staccato. Conway has more of a consistent flow, but I think Styles Jada and Conway can have the kind of relationship that Styles and Jada have on a Lox record if they write it like together, kind of thing. So it'd be a great song as opposed to a Biggie song with a Conway verse on it.
Did you ever hear the EP from, I want to say 2015, that Prodigy and Mobb Deep and Conway dropped?
Did not.
I think it was 6 tracks.
Need
6
to.
tracks. Fire. That is partially how I got introduced to Kanye, because I'm Prodigy's my goat. He's my top guy. So
Yeah.
So anything with him, I'm always kind of checking for, and I'm like, who is this guy he did 6 tracks with? But so I hear what you're saying, because I mean, look at Renegade with Jay, right? Like, I think in Jay's mind, it's like, okay, the blueprint, I have Renegade. I'm going to have just one feature on this entire album. I already know this album is going to be a classic. I can just tell, like, that's why I'm calling it the blueprint. I have this new up and coming producer, Kanye, and Just Blaze, that are going to be producing this. He brings Eminem on the album, and Eminem murders him on his own shit. To quote Nas. So you're saying that Big would potentially do that to Kanye or to Conway?
Big murder's a strong word. Oh God, murder's a strong word. I mean, Eminem definitely blacked out. Jay-Z definitely did very well. I mean, Eminem definitely got him. Biggie would cook Conway. I'm sorry.
Mm.
I'm sorry. Like, and I don't even know. Yeah,
No,
I
because
love
Kanye is a
Condola.
monster.
Like Conway, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know, man. The affinity I have for Biggie, this is a purely emotional decision here. Like, I don't know if it would be fair to put Biggie on a track with anybody that's not from Biggie's era.
Mm. Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like,
Oof.
so
Let me ask you, what is your favorite era? Say we broke up Kiss. Say we broke up Kiss's career over like 5 eras. Like figure like 97 to 01, 01 to like 06, like every 5 years kind of. What is your favorite Kiss era? I don't think anyone's ever been as consistent as Kiss. I mean, you can make an argument for Kiss to be number 1, greatest of all time. He has never fallen off.
he hasn't fallen off, but that greatest of all time, I think it comes with the one thing that Kiss may not have, and that's the one classic album, at least. He
I
has
don't
good
listen.
albums. He has classic songs. He has crazy songs. Classic album, top to bottom. Jadakiss. Name it.
Listen, I would absolutely beg to differ right there. I would
Okay.
definitely beg to differ. I think his first album to me, certified classic. Certified classic. Kiss the Game Goodbye. Top to bottom, that track was insane. From Jada's Got a Gun to Show Discipline with Nas to Knock Yourself Out with Pharrell. We Gon' Make It has one of the best and most recognizable opening lines of any
Yeah.
song ever. You know this. You wrote the book. You wrote a book on the most quotable songs, right? Like none of y'all better, right? Like, come on.
My
Listen, put
bathtub
your
lip up.
hands up.
Yeah, shout out to Alchemist. He bodied that track. Like, there
To me,
are
that's classic. That is a classic album. And if we're including, maybe I know we might not include the locks, but We Are the Streets is arguably a classic.
arguably, I would skip Jada's Got a Gun though. And that's what I mean. There's like me personally, there's always like one or two where I would be like, but I'm a hard ass. Like even on the classic albums, there are songs where I'm just like, all right, yeah, this is a classic album and all that. I won't say this shit in public, pardon my French, but I'm gonna go ahead and skip track 8, kind of thing.
And you know what, too? Listen, I'm not gonna push back on you too much on that because my biggest issue with Jada, if we never had this conversation and you say one negative thing about Jadakiss and his career, the first thing I would say is almost every single solo album he has had, he has tried to cross over. And he has had way too many crossover attempt songs on almost every single album. That's why his mixtape stuff is just fire. But then when it comes to the mixtape stuff, though, the sound quality, the recording quality is not as good as the studio quality, the studio album. So it's like
it's mixtape stuff. Like it's a different budget.
Exactly. It's like
a different budget.
It was. It sounds like it was recorded in my bedroom. And the thing is, I don't want to knock bedroom recording studios because there are some of the greatest songs ever have been recorded in bedrooms.
Absolutely.
That Travis Scott documentary that's on Netflix, he recorded his entire album, Astro World. So the collab with Drake, Sicko Mode, he recorded that in a living room, standing up, talking into a standing mic. Like it was all on film. Like, so I'm not knocking that, but yeah, his mixtape quality stuff, like it's not engineered, I think, properly.
Yeah.
So,
and again, that's we as fans have a viewpoint, and then there's another viewpoint. All these classic albums that we deem as classic albums, it is like, to me, a classic album is the perfect balance of the music and the business occurring at the same time. It is never as organic as we would like to make it seem. Oh, Illmatic is a classic album. Illmatic was the first album that was an amalgam of super producers, as it were.
I know.
first kind of thing. So when you say organic, yeah. So all these albums that we want to give the classic stamp, Puffy did nothing organically. That was always business. Like and it was business, and he has a depth of understanding of music. So he can make a lot more quote unquote classic albums than most. Same thing with Jay-Z. It seems like when the artist has as much respect for the business side as they do for the music side, a quote unquote classic album comes out of it. But when they're an artist that's trying to find themselves, you see them stumble when they do you know what I mean? Shorty, so what's your price? You see a stumble
He
when
gets
you
so
know that.
much flack for that.
I like that song. I like it.
He's
I
done
like
like
it.
2 songs like that, and it's all because Jay put that in the diss track on, I think that was Blueprint 2, right? When he came out and dissed him, and he sang literally that line. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like
Is
it,
it
but
Black Girl Lost or Shorty I Want You for Ice? That was on Blueprint 2.
yeah, it is a balance, and Biggie can easily do One More
Oh,
Chance and Juicy because he it's a balance. He
he
understands.
he mastered that. And my question too, and we're going into a bunch of different topics before, and we're about to wrap up. But my question is, how much credit does Puffy get for that? Right? Because when you look at Nas, I'm sure Nas has a team behind him, but he never necessarily had a super producer.
And
Puffy is arguably the number one hit maker in the history of music, next to like Clive Davis.
because I'm a tinkerer and I'm a producer, I always gave Puffy flack for not being a true producer, a la Khaled, where up until I eventually gave him credit, but up until recently, where I heard the story of how All I Need came with Meth and Mary, and I believe it's on the lady's first documentary on Netflix. That story is somebody hears Method Man's verse. Somebody's like, "This would be take it off the song. It would be a great duet." Yeah, but who do you think would be good on it? Let's get Lauryn Hill. I don't want to get Lauryn Hill. You get maybe we can get Mary, but you know Puffy. So Puffy's the one. Have you ever heard that Marvin Gaye song? You know who would be So he's the one who's in the background going
Mastermind.
masterminding, but to have the knowledge to go Marvin and like and what is it, Tammy, Mary and Meth, do it like this. If you're the coach and you put all the pieces in the right place and they win, yeah, you weren't the one who scored the touchdown or threw it or caught it, but you're Bill Belichick.
Yeah. I tell you, the original version of All I Need off of Tikal, that goes hard too, man. That
Yeah,
album, I can remember the first time I ever heard Tikal. I was in a car and this girl had the cassette and she's playing it, and I'm like, this album is like dirty. Like this
yeah.
album is like filthy. Like there was nothing polished about it. Just the RZA, his the the beat selection was just nothing was polished. It was
It was too
very
dirty, and that's why it didn't do what it was supposed to do. Like it was a
oh,
good. To Cal,
Tikal was
he
and
needed a couple.
he
Yeah,
was you could tell he was. I think he's talked about how like in the Bring the Pain video he was just like dusted out of his mind. Like it felt like the whole recording process was like that. And I think that's partially why him and Redman made such a good combo, because
they
Redman
don't give
talked
a
about
flying.
yeah, Redman talked about how the entire recording process for There Is a Dark Side, he said the entire time, I think he said he was on mushrooms or acid, one of the two, and he was just like, he said he doesn't remember any of those sessions. He has no idea how those songs were made. And it's
Yeah,
like, so when you put both of these guys together who like openly will be like, because I think in society and even in hip hop culture, like back then in the 90s, it wasn't popular to be talking about trying psychedelics and taking drugs like that, right? Like people would look at you as like a fiend, you know what I mean? It was like
yeah,
either weed or alcohol, really, and that was
yeah.
it, right? No
Well,
one was
barely
popping
weed.
pills
Yeah,
back then.
It
right?
was
Like,
barely weed. Absolutely agree.
yeah. So for them who they both openly talked about drug use, for them to come together, I mean, talk about one of the most unexpected dynamic duos in hip hop history,
Yeah,
Red and Meth.
when Cheech meets Chong kind of thing.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, listen, we are at the 35-minute mark, man. So, um, real quick, we haven't even really plugged the Instagram or the YouTube or anything like that. So, as you guys know, Relax and Take Notes podcast on Instagram. We are at Relax and Take Notes podcast. You can see all the information right there at the bottom of the screen. Alf, if people want to reach out to you, what is the best way to reach out to you?
My IG, Crazed African, AFRYKAN. I'm on there more than I actually need to be, so that is currently the best way to reach me.
You know what? That's the way that up until not long ago, when we exchanged phone numbers, that's the way we always communicated, was just through IG. So, and what we'll do is with future episodes, we'll put both of our Instagrams right on the bottom ticker, so that way people could just see that and they'll know exactly how to do it. And yeah, so you could hit me up on Instagram too. I'm Rob. You could check me out at Sports Card Therapist. Sports card, as in like sports cards, like baseball cards. That's usually the one I rock with. So Sports Card Therapist, and I guess that's it, man. So Alf, any final words before we wrap up?
Um, Happy birthday to hip hop. It's been an awesome 50. I don't know what it's going to look like in the next 50. I look forward to it. Thanks to everyone for listening. Appreciate you, Rob, always. Love having these conversations, and I look forward to many, many more.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care.